The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, outspoken activist Richard Johnson has been vocal in his allegations of corruption against the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Tonight, he has taken his issues with the force internationally. We talked to him to find out the reason for this renewed focus. Also tonight, Tourism Minister Chester Cooper says while tourism is booming, there is likelihood of headwinds ahead, headwinds that could impact the industry. We talk about that. Also tonight, after dismissing Killarney MP Hubert Minnis, the FNM has embarked on a new fight against Minnis, brought on after Minnis insisted he's running this week. Is Minnis being difficult? That's the question. But we'll talk about that as well coming up. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. It's Week in Review Fridays. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, Richard Johnson says after more than 2 years of being denied justice and what he feels is a real effort from the police force, he, or lack thereof, he's no longer trusting or even has faith in the force and that they can give him that justice. He's now taken his grievances internationally. Johnson is joining me this evening to talk about what steps he has taken just this week to speak with international organizations on how he feels. Richard, good evening to you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you here. You know, I thought to question you about this because I don't like when people, we see people on social media saying they've filed grievances with different international agencies. And for you, somebody who has sort of been front and center and very vocal about a number of things or any number of things, to now figure you're going to take the police force and take this route. Right. First of all, welcome to the show. Good evening to you. What's happening?
Thank you, Shanique, and good evening to everybody. Good night. Shanique, as you know, from 2023 or the late part of 2022, there's been an ongoing dispute between myself and the leadership of the FNM. As you know, I was attacked at the FNM headquarters in 2023 after they would have lost miserably to that by-election. Since that, there have been some compelling evidence as to say, well, we have some information on this story. I have never been, I've never been briefed on that story. There was never no justice. There was never no forthcoming on who would have done it.
You mean briefed on this new evidence that came forth?
Well, there are several matters here. So you have the incident at the FNM headquarters where I was initially attacked. You have the death threat that I received early part of this year in Grand Bahama. Oh. Then you would have had my billboards would have destroyed for the second time. And so we have
How recent? So earlier this year, you were given death threats.
Yes, ma'am.
This happened directly to you.
Directly to me. I was in Grand Bahama to the local government by-election. I received the call telling me that if I don't get Batean Pintad, my head will be blown off.
If you don't do what?
If I don't get Batean Pintad, Batean Pintad, my head will be blown off. Oh. So the officers in Grand Bahama, I want to commend them. Officer Ware and Officer Johnson, aggressively dealt with that matter. The person is currently in custody, trial before the court. But let me tell you about that. He's not in custody, he's not in prison because of my matter. He's in prison for another matter that he committed, offense he committed. I don't know if you heard, allegedly someone robbed the ATM in Coral Harbor. Well, he was a part of that particular robbery, allegedly. So he is now in custody, remanded because of that matter, not of my matter.
Where is your matter of threats of harm and even worse, threats of ending your life?
So the matter of the threats of harm or death, that is a Freeport matter because that's where the incident took place. That's where the report was given when I was in Grand Bahama. The first case, the first time we went to court, that never materialized because we got some dates mixed up. The second time, it was put off. The gentleman, I fly into Grand Bahama, the fella never came to court. And I just want to let you know though, but he's on bail. He was on bail on that matter. I never showed up to court the second time. And then had his relative come to the court and to give a letter to tell the judge, well, he's running late.
What?
But he never showed up.
I never showed up.
So a bench warrant was put on him. But guess what? He only got back in custody now because he was caught up in another matter. So again, we don't even know that he was going to ever be arrested for the first matter.
The reason you are as angry as you are, because when I heard, when we see other people dragging the police force and anything internationally, it's disturbing.
Correct.
And so when I heard you saying you're going to international bodies, I'm like, wait a minute, what is this? Let me hear it. Perhaps if you come on a platform and speak about it, maybe the force would somehow reach out to you. So you were saying after being attacked at F&M headquarters.
In 2023.
Then this threats of death in Grand Bahama this year.
Correct, early part of this year, January this year.
And what else happened recently?
And then I would have had, as you know, I would have had a event that I normally have every year.
Right, because you came here to talk about it.
So I would have had 5 to 6 billboards around the island at the major spots. 3 of those were vandalized. I made the report initially April 19 to this date. I've never received a follow-up on those billboards. In fact, they were tear down again this week. This week they were tear down again. And so what I had to do then, because I was literally going to move them after the event. And so I got a call, saying, listen, these boards are down again. And what we did, the first time we got the complaint that the boards were down, we went and we had to re-brace them stronger. So you had to physically come back again and destroy the billboards. And as you know, Shanique, Sanders Beach has 3 cameras. The mall has 2 cameras. Apparently, 2 of the cameras, one ain't working, and the next one ain't looking in that angle. And then the one at Sanders Beach, they just don't work. But my billboards were destroyed. And so after I started making noise and carrying on by and bringing awareness to why is it that every time that I put complaints into the police force, I can't get no justice. And so I'm saying, listen, I'm getting sick. I'm tired of this.
Yes. Are you even called in and spoken to? What's happening?
No. What happened was, since that, I got a call that, listen, we was told to leave your matter, to address this matter now, even though we have pending matters. This would have been on, I believe, Wednesday or Thursday morning. And since that officer who called me from CID, he never called me back. But he told me the reason why he called me today is because he got a call to directly deal with my matter, and he'll get back to me.
Today as in today?
As of, well, he talked to me on Wednesday, today is Friday. So we never got a follow-up. Shanique, I met with ACP Ramming, ACP Hines at the police headquarters. That would have been Tuesday or Wednesday. They came inside the meeting. They tried their utmost best to try to tell me, listen, man, we're working with it. We do apologize because we don't do follow-ups. However, we will get back to you so far.
What do you think? As somebody who I would say has a good deal of leverage in this nation, and certainly you use it from time to time. Your voice is out there. Your own leverage in many instances. What are you saying is the state of the force when you don't feel as though somehow you're being dealt with justifiably? That these very serious matters, especially those threats of harm and the rest and the other incidents, that you are right here, right now, this evening.
That's why I'm here. So again, Shanique, where I live, I had to personally outfit that with a lot of security stuff. Okay, obviously I don't live my life in fear, but I'm not a macho man, and I'm not the biggest, baddest man in the world. But I cannot be naive. I have to still consider that my safety at any point in time, or my life could be in any point in time. And so what I did, I said, listen, y'all are not following up with me. You are not giving me justice. You're not acting as if that my complaint is valid. You're not respecting what I say. You could look at the facts. You could look at the evidence. You could look at the witness statement. You could all of these things that I said, listen, these people are specifically, a group of people are specifically targeting Richard Johnson. I need your help. I need y'all to investigate. I need y'all to bring someone guilty for what they're doing to me. And again, there is no urgent care. There's none. So maybe if I could promise them a promotion, maybe if I could promise them, I don't sell nothing, Janique. I don't sell them things, neither. I don't have no thing where I can sell you nothing. But it's sad to say that, listen, yes, we do have members of the Royal Police Force who are competent, who are able, and who do their job thoroughly. But yes, equally we have officers in the force that who brushes you aside, who works for who works for the political directive, and they will not do anything to assist you. And I'm convinced, Shanique, on live television today, that my matter is being politically directed for those so they could get whatever they get at the end of the day.
Now, you have made very strong allegations, one of corruption. How do you explain that allegation?
So, as you know, Michael Johnson, the then former chief responsible for CDU, at the time when he was responsible for CDU, he would have had my file. And me and him had some war words. And how he handled me, that's what got me that conclusion. But you know the God that we serve, he don't play, you know. You see where he is today? He's out of the force. And every day on Sunday, he hold up holy hands. He can pray all he want. The deeds what he have committed on the force, nothing happening. God ain't ahead and praise. That man got plenty to answer to God for.
God is God.
Yeah, he's a God of justice and a God of forgiveness. But that Michael Johnson, you don't have to worry. His days are numbered. And that's what got me to that conclusion.
Do you think it's sort of just too broad a statement, though, for you to paint the entire organization?
I'm not painting the entire police force. I want to say publicly that Anthony Cobb's role, who is a friend of mine, who is a senior police officer, who at any point in time when I give him a call, he answers my call. And he doesn't know special favors. I say, Cobbs, I'm having an issue with this matter. How best are you going to rectify this for me? And I can tell you, he goes beyond the call to make sure that I'm satisfied, not for my benefit, but ensure, listen, Richard, to remove any doubt, any biasness. Yes, we're going to address the matters. And he's been very accommodating to me. Yeah. I consider it Anthony Cobb's role and other officers on the force who I speak to on a daily basis.
You've also taken this internationally.
Correct.
What does that mean?
So I've made I have some friends in media, and they have given me some, internationally, they have given me some contacts. I talked to two already. I won't call their names. They are prepared to meet with me sometime next week.
And what are you saying to them?
So I'm going to tell them to listen, me and many Bahamians, we have issues and doubts that relates to our Royal Bahama Police Force. The government of the Bahamas, clearly, I don't know why they can't intervene to an extent because of constitutional separations. But again, we are saying, listen, why is it that a man like me, who is an activist, Shanique, who fight for people every day, who fight for reserve police officers who didn't get paid months and months and time, and I'm always fighting. I want to say, I meet people on an everyday basis, Shanique, and people say, Richard, I commend the work that you're doing, standing up for the poor man. But again, Richard is making legitimate complaints to the agency that
and can't seem to get anywhere.
And I can't get nowhere. And again, and I'm going to say again, Shanique, I don't care how you cut this. I believe that the political directed, not in government, in opposition.
No, man. Richard,
yes, sir.
Richard,
yes, sir.
Yes,
sir. I personally believe that.
Alleged report.
I believe that.
Richard, you cannot say that you feel whoever these officers are that's taking your statements and the rest of it are somehow being interfered with or by the opposition or members of the opposition.
I can't say that. I can't say allegedly that I believe that the political directive.
But that's what you were saying?
I'm standing by that. I believe that the opposition have members in the Royal Bahama Police Force who's working with them against me. I make no apologies for that, Shanique. My life I've been physically attacked. I received a death threat. So no one can tell me what I can and can't say, because no one knows how I feel. All right? No one knows how I feel. And I'm sick and tired of it.
I know you've spoken, you said, with two international members of the media already. What's their response been when you...
Obviously, there will be checks and balances before we even have that conversation. And currently, right now, that's what they're doing. And so I won't call their name, I won't call the agencies, but they are willing to speak with me at some point next week. And so I'm prepared to speak with them. And if the Bahamas government and someone get mad, that's their business.
And you don't care?
I don't care. You had an opportunity to fix it. You had an opportunity to get the matter resolved. All of a sudden now my phone could ring because everybody would talk to me because they figured we could rectify it. Richard, you taking it up a portion. Give them an opportunity. 3 years? I must give you an opportunity of 3 years? No, Shanique, I can't do that. My life could have been taken away from me in 2023 at the FLM headquarters. To this day, I got no resolve in the matter. After there were members of the financial movement who were questioned by police, the police had sufficient lead to question them regarding my matter. And to this day, Shanique, there has been no cause on that matter. I want to thank the police in Grand Bahama who charged the young man who's in custody now for the death threat. I want to thank them in Grand Bahama. But some Nassau, I don't know what the issue is. I believe when Richard name come in there, Just squash it aside.
This isn't for you to answer. This is another segment coming up, but I want to ask you this: what is happening with Dr. Minnis? How is he running, etc.? And then this new fight. I know you're not used to. You have said and insisted you're not a part of the FNM. But what's your thought about his statement on Wednesday, and then now the fact that the FNM is doubling down that, listen, dude, you've been rejected. Right. Please go. Yeah. Hit the road.
I want to ask Dr. Sands something. Did Minnis took your girlfriend from you in 2020 and you was in school?
No, Richard.
Did Minnis take your high school girlfriend or your biddy or your movie? Because obviously you have a serious issue with Dr. Minnis. You ran here talking about the former administration. No one would hear but that. No one would hear but you. Because you was fired by Dr. Minnis.
Richard,
but you ain't no good.
Richard.
And you was Pablo. Stop liking man, Dr. Sam.
Richard, stop. Richard, now you stop that. Because
stop liking man.
No,
Minnis don't like man.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop. Because I see, wait a minute. Listen.
All right.
First of all, I have no issue with the FNM and certainly not with Dr. Sands.
This is not a likable contest, actually. This is not a likable contest. Dr. Sands is a stop liking man. Minnis don't like man.
He has never been, ever. What? Listen, there's never been any cloud of whatever over Dr. Sands' head to suggest any such thing.
I said stop liking man. Because obviously you've had on for Dr. Minnis. Minnis is a guy in the corner just look at women all he likes.
No, but Richard, again, I think you're being unfair because what Dr. Sands responded to, I heard you, Justin, what he responded to as chairman of the FNM is to say, basically, listen, Dr. Minnis, you are not going to be a distraction for this organization. We're going to continue moving ahead.
If you didn't tell the man you'll give him the nomination, Shanique, what you said, whatever the man for? He can stand up in the parliament and say, I'm running. What that has to have to do with you? Why Dr. Sands don't go deal with Elizabeth? Why? And guess what? How about this? Go challenge Minnis and Galani. Go and Galani and challenge Minnis. Dr. Sands, stop liking man. Minnis say he never like man in life. He like women.
This is Beyond the Headlines. I'm back right after this.
What you doing there?
I'm getting ready for this heat, boy. But you want to see what's in this box? The ghost pepper chicken sandwich, boy. Get an apple pie, fries, and ghost pepper chicken wing. You see it? You look at me? Four. Yeah, boy.
Try our new ghost pepper chicken box today. Available for a limited time only.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Don't miss the Pulled Pork Festival this June 21st at the Arawak Cultural Site. Come out for a day packed with slow-roasted pork, mouth-watering food, live music, and good vibes all around. Bring your friends, bring your appetite, and get ready for a flavor-packed experience you won't forget. It's the ultimate summer hangout. Mark your calendar and be there.
Measles is on the rise around the world and the Bahamas is at risk.
Which makes us very vulnerable as a nation for the possible outbreak of measles cases.
Every Saturday in May from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Ministry of Health and Wellness will host MMR immunization visits in South Beach, Coconut Grove, Fox Hill, and Elizabeth Estates. Clinics in these areas will remain open until 8 p.m. twice per week. Get your child immunized now.
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
This segment of Beyond the Headlines is brought to you by EV Motors. Drive the future with brand new 2024 electric vehicles. EV Motors, powering your journey.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Well, despite strong tourism growth in the first 4 months of the year, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism Chester Cooper is cautioning that the Bahamas could face headwinds in the months ahead, including a potential U.S. recession and a slowdown in travel bookings. We get the story from Laurencia Smith, and then we'll come back and discuss.
Could a looming recession in the United States take a toll on the nation's #1 industry, tourism? Deputy Prime Minister and Tourism Minister Chester Cooper says it's a reality we can't afford to ignore. In his budget contribution on Thursday, Cooper outlined the challenges facing the country's bread and butter industry as the global financial pressures, including the possible 2025 recession, cast a shadow over growth.
And whether it materializes or not, this forecast alone will impact many would-be travelers who are likely to take a cautious approach to travel. The point is this: uncertainty shortens booking windows, making the business less predictable.
Despite the challenges, Cooper says the country's close proximity to the U.S. gives us a clear advantage, especially when it comes to last-minute, impulsive travelers.
Off the coast of Florida, we can boast that. Nobody else can boast it. And it ain't gonna change no time soon, Mr. Deputy. No. We have a strong brand. We have multiple destinations within the Bahamas and all the natural beauties and attributes that we boast.
And Cooper says that his team is prepared to keep the country as the first choice for travelers, no matter the economic climate.
And we will continue to use traditional marketing strategies that work, as well as digital marketing and AI-powered tools. And there is no doubt that given the challenges, we will need to spend more to achieve the same results.
Now turning attention to the tourism numbers. Arrivals for the first 4 months of the year are up 11.7% compared to the same period last year. Cooper says from January to April, foreign and sea arrivals hit 4.3 million, a significant jump from the 3.9 million recorded during the same period of 2024.
So Paradise Island, our flagship destination, saw total arrivals grow from 1.8 million in 2024 to 2.05 million this year. That's an increase of 10% per year, year over year. Nassau Paradise Island welcomed over 493,000 air arrivals from January to April 2025, compared to 500,000 in the same period, a slight decrease. Yet it's still up 9.1% from the 2019 figures.
Silver Airways' bankruptcy dealt a blow to the country's airlift, but new airline partnerships are already stepping up to take flight, especially in the Canadian market.
Partnerships with Sunwing, Air Canada, WestJet, and another major carrier that we are going to announce shortly. These additions are critical to unlocking more of the Canadian market and extending the reach of our family islands.
Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Well, there you have it. Of course, that presentation happened during the budget debate that is still ongoing, and the Minister of Tourism talked about a number of things. I found very interesting this sort of new relationship that will be manifested very soon with Emirates. I think that's the official name, the Emirates airline, the top-notch, top-notch in the world, really. But I want to bring in the hot topics, the contributors right now, Beyond the Headlines contributors Leslie Miller and Garth Horsborough. Gentlemen, good evening to you. Certainly is nothing anybody want to even fathom and think about right now, a session. Everybody somehow is speculating of what will happen in the U.S. economy. Meanwhile, the U.S. isn't necessarily saying it. In certain quarters it's being said, but other than that, widely they're saying the economy is headed in a good direction. But your thoughts about what the Minister of Tourism and Deputy Prime Minister had to say, just very briefly as a response?
There are going to be some concerns. And good night, by the way, to everyone. Shanique Miller, thank you for having us on once again. And for those people who support Beyond the Headlines, we want to continue to do so. We do enjoy having a conversation and sharing our opinions with you. It would be wise, however, to forecast as such, knowing that Social Security in the United States is being under somewhat of a threat. What is happening in America with all of the immigration situations of deporting individuals through ICE and other agencies back to their original countries or otherwise, you're going to have a windfall in America. The labor force in terms of construction, in terms of the migratory workers working in the orchards with the oranges and the other crop in America, all of these things are going to take effect. What that does mean is that if you do not have laborers to work doing the type of work that you do not yourself want to do, then it means then that there's going to be a lack of those people employed. If those people are not employed, those people who are on social services, if you do not have social services, then what do? It means you have to go and find employment in order to sustain yourself. Many people are naturally at some time in their life lazy, do not want to work. They would like to get a free check, a free ride, as it were. And what President Trump is saying, Shanique Miller, is that there's no more free ride. We're going to take that free ride away from you. If you want to have your Nike, if you want to have your Michael Kors and all the other name brand things, it's not going to be with federal money. You got to go out there and work. You got to go pick some oranges. You got to go do some construction. For you people who are unemployed, you said you can't find work. But guess what? There's going to be a whole lot of work for you to find. And so the monies that are readily available to people, I think you can take a quick cruise to the Bahamas. As Mr. Cooper said, just 15 miles away, you can jump on a cruise ship for under $1,000, you and a loved one, and enjoy the Bahamas. That is no longer going to happen because many people just won't go to work. That's what's going to happen. And so we can expect a downward spiral in terms of the amount of people that are going to be coming to our shores. And he's basically telling us, we got to be prepared for it.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas.
Good evening.
The major financial institution in the United States, those that control Wall Street, is indicating that there may be a slowdown in the economy. But just this week, there were indications that the economy is in fact improving. That the cost of living has gone down in the United States. The cost of fuel has just gone down over the weekend. Their holiday, they had a dramatic increase, some 18%, the cost of fuel. I think what is happening now with the United States now getting or trying to rid themselves of all the illegal immigrants. Just this morning, the president, Mr. Trump, had to make a change again. He's now saying
but the
that the farmers, they can keep their employees. He's now saying that the hotel industry that depends on these same foreign workers who are supposedly illegal, they don't know whether they're legal or not in some cases, he will prohibit them from getting them out of the country. So it's this up and down situation that scares the market in New York. But most of the major financial institutions is saying that between now and the third quarter, fourth quarter of the year, the United States economy should stabilize. I think this impending war now between Iraq and Israel, which just began this morning again, but Israel bombing them because they feel confident that the United States have all their ships in that area, that they can do what the hell they please. We have to see what's going to happen. I think the Bahamian economy is so susceptible to tourism that anytime there's a shift in the market, we will suffer some of the consequences. There's hope for our sake and the rest of the region's sake that is not the case. So let's look for a better future.
Yeah, absolutely. We certainly speak all the best towards that end, for sure. Let's move along, gentlemen. Is the FNM at war with itself or one another? And I ask this because former Prime Minister Dr. Whitman is said and maintained he's running, but it's not also said that he's not an FNM any longer, that he isn't. In fact, he said he's an FNM. He also said this week he intends to run in the Kalani constituency in the next general election. Now, of course, this despite repeated declarations by the party leadership, headed by Michael Pintard, that Minnis will not be given a nomination on a Free National Movement's ticket. Minnis, however, insists that he is running, but providing no further detail if he intends to run as an independent or with another political organization.
Kalani must remain strong. I want to remind them that I am running in Kalani, and I look forth to their vote, and I look forth to their continuous support. Amen. We must keep Kalani strong. Yes, sir. Kalani will remain strong. We will deal with the road repair issues of South Ocean. We will deal with the flood issues that we see on Frank Watson Highway. And we're about to deal with the signage problem on Devonshire and Yorkshire. And I've been assured by the minister the pothole in the western end of Yorkshire is being addressed. Mr. Deputy, keep Kalani strong.
But listen, that right there rubbed the F&M the wrong way. Very strong words, I tell you that. Minister standing on business, that's for sure. But the F&M say standing on what business? Dude, we didn't say you ain't getting a nomination. Go sit down. You are now a distraction. In fact, in a statement issued, I think it was late Wednesday evening, I believe, the F&M says the Bahamian people have made their views clear on the politics and policies of the minister-led administration. The F&M has listened, and we are not looking back. That's right, they say no turning back. We look forward to presenting candidates who reflect our values, our vision, and the future we believe in for the Bahamas. And that's it. Very brief, very much to the point. Now, many people ask, I even had to reach out to party officials and say, is this an authentic response? Because I figured the F&M has no reason, none whatsoever, to respond to Dr. Minnis. Dr. Minnis just doing what he's doing in order to do just that. Get them to rile them up, I feel. Gentlemen, your thoughts. Was I right in saying, man, the F&M shouldn't respond to Minnis? Minnis has every right to just keep doing this as much as he wants to. But they responded. That is what they said. And people were like, dang, what the dickens? How y'all could come out swinging like that on somebody who, by all intents and purposes, doesn't exist?
Who's an integral part of the cabinet, Dr. Sands, is saying that they have moved on, that Dr. Minnis' administration was rejected by the Bahamian people. But he was an integral part of that. He was the minister of the government. And he was fired from the same government that he's saying the Bahamian people rejected. They rejected him also.
Yes.
So why would he go after Dr. Minnis when he was part of the same group of men and women who led our country for some 4.5 years? I find that most diabolical and insulting to Dr. Minnis and insulting the Bahamian people for him to share himself out of the ambit of what he was. Mm-hmm. He was an integral part. He was the senior minister. And he's saying that his policies wasn't right. Now we're going to move on from him. But you were there. Wow. I don't know what you got to say, my brother, but I just, these guys got to stop playing games, man.
Garth Leslie is saying that this is new leadership, you know. Leslie, be fair. It's a new leadership with a new vision, new trajectory.
They're the same old men and women who were there.
Garth, your thoughts?
Well, what I could recall is the by-election before the 2012 election. Dr. Sands was a candidate in Elizabeth, and he was rejected.
Yes.
I recall that Dr. Sands was also the candidate in the general election of 2012, and he was rejected. He was accepted, however, in 2017, and was given the benefit of sitting in the cabinet of the same Dr. Hubert Alexander Minnis as the Minister of Health. Yes, he was dismissed from that particular administration, but he did attempt once again to vie in the 2021 election, in which once again he was rejected.
Exactly.
If we're talking about rejection, who was more rejected historically in the last 10 years other than Dr. Dwayne Sands? We have always said that you are a great physician. No one takes that away from you. You may even be a great family man. But we've all stood together and said to you, you are not a politician. You have now become the chairman of the Free National Movement. And once again, you are stating to us that the Free National Movement is on the right trajectory futuristically. We've also heard something mentioned also from Tommy Turnquest, who's saying that the Free National Movement is going in the right direction. So Dr. Sands and Tommy Turnquest, yes, I do recall saying that. I did recall seeing that on media.
Recently?
And, yes, recently. And so remember now when Hubert Alexander Ingram said, if you need help, you can ask Brent, you can ask Tommy. Why did he include Tommy Turnquest in that? You know?
Because that he eliminated in 2007, don't forget.
Okay, so you're asking these people as leaders in the FNM, which tells that Tommy Turnquest still has some leadership I guess, basically sway in the Free National Movement. His influence is still there. But you're talking to people who have not been victorious in the past. We do not look at them in a victorious fashion. And so if you're listening to the council of people, let me just say it straight, Shanique Miller, who are losers. If you are listening to losers, then what do you expect in 2026 other than a loss? If these people are telling you you're going in the right direction, listen to me. If I met someone who's a loser and they tell me I'm going in the right direction, my God, I got to turn around 180 degrees. Not the Bahamian 360, 180 degrees the right direction, the next direction. I got to run away from you because if you're going in the right direction, I got to be in the wrong direction.
I assure you, it's Colby Davis.
So when we look at the Dr. Miller situation, like Leslie Miller just said in the studio with you, Shanique Miller, guess what? You have already succeeded in dismissing yourself from this former prime minister. Yeah. You tell me, why in the heck do you always have to now go back to your vomit and put Dr. Minnis to the forefront of your conversation?
So you're saying that it was a misstep to even respond to Dr. Minnis Wednesday?
Responding to who? He's a ghost. You've already gotten rid of him. He's now demised to the Free National Movement.
Why give him more wind? He did not need this new resurgence of whatever.
Dr. Minnis is a genius. He is a genius. He's going to be the thorn in your flesh, the pain in your buttocks. He's not going anywhere. And the fact that he has said, Shanique Miller, that I am an F&M, meaning an F&M by heart, even if you do not have him as an F&M by spirit, I mean in terms of membership, he's an F&M by spirit and by heart. And the mere fact that he's in the heart of many F&Ms, he's going to be a menace to you. He's not going anywhere. And he's telling you that he is going to run. And not only is he going to run, he's also going to win. Now, we ask the question, Shanique Miller, is Marco City going to win? Is St. Barnabas going to win? And what about the chairman himself? Do you really think he's going into Elizabeth to win? The F&M is in deep trouble. Everybody knows it. I've encouraged him, Shanique Miller, to go ahead and find new leadership. Otherwise, if you continue to listen to Tommy Turnquest and Dwayne Sands, you're looking at an utmost, for lack of a better word, defeat.
Veteran politician Alfred Sayers is bowed out. The Fort Charlotte Member of Parliament, this all happened this week, officially says he's not seeking a nomination ahead of the 2026 general election. Now, you remember, just a little history, this was also said and stated by North Eleuthera MP Sylvanus Petty, as well as Mike Hall MP, that they will not be seeking nomination for 2026. So, the question is, will he or won't he? I am referring to that question that's lingering as it relates to Long Island Member of Parliament Adrian Gibson, who also spoke in Parliament this week on the budget. In fact, he did so yesterday. This was a discussion. This discussion was in the newsroom. That during his presentation, he made no indication as to what his plans are. But what do you think? Do you think he is a distraction that the F&M should have put out there? Just put it out there. So at least that's not something that's a distraction to say, no, this one ain't getting no nomination. Or have they already said that?
He's been told forthrightly he's not going to get a nomination.
So he's been told that?
He knows that. He knows that.
I'm saying they've already stated this officially.
He's not getting a nomination on the good gentleman, Mr. Johnson, who's the MP for the eastern area up there.
Who's this?
Who was on their show?
Ellsworth Johnson.
Good man. He isn't getting a nomination either.
Now, have you all heard this? Ellsworth is not getting...
He's not getting a nomination. He knows that. He's been told that point blank.
I would say this very quickly, Shanique.
That's a fact.
People don't understand. We come here and Shanique throw these things at us and we got to respond with our opinions, but I appreciate that. Listen to me. Adrian Gibson, if you look at his character and his person, his ability to present the people of Long Island, I would say he's an extremely strong person. Ellsworth Johnson, Mr. Leslie Miller, is an extremely strong person. Hubert Alexander Minnis is an extremely strong person. Yeah. It is extremely clear to us tonight, here beyond the headlines, that the leadership of the F&M is afraid of strong people, and anyone who's threatened to be strong, they're going to be dismissed. This is the history of Bahamian politics. We get rid of the strong, we accept the weak, and our country continues to stay as a weak country. We got to be stronger and love these strong people.
When we come back, are you all satisfied with exactly how it's going to play out there in North Eleuthera in terms of the glass window bridge? Well, we'll talk about that because the Minister of Works gave an explanation for that $86 million budget that's assigned to the new glass window bridge. We're going to talk about it when we come back after the break.
Kalani.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
I am a master plumber by profession. I've been doing plumbing for over 40 odd years. When I was 9 months old, I was diagnosed with polio. To me, living with polio, I took it the way it is. I never allowed my polio to get in my way of anything. In fact, I love when people doubt me, and I just prove them wrong. And let me tell you, in the world, you could only find a plumber as good as me, but you ain't gonna find no plumber better than me. People with disability, they just need a chance. In this program, I feel so encouraged. Most of the mentors have different kind of disability, but disabilities like me. Sharing and caring and showing so much support with people with disability. They would encourage you to go beyond. I wish this was around a long time ago. Right now, I would have been a millionaire. You out there who have a disability, don't be afraid. Take the step. If you believe it, you could achieve it. And remember one thing, ain't no one better than me, and ain't no one better than y'all. God made all us equal.
For more information about how the SBDC can help your small business to make a big impact, give us a call at 461-7232 or visit sbdcbahamas.com.
7.5 years, but I walk in here all of a sudden, total stranger. I'm calling you Rick and Sheila. Like,
How you been? At Island Lock, we take sports seriously. Get ready to experience the thrill of winning anytime and any place. Bet in real time and live the thrill of every play while watching your winnings stack up. It's your chance to score big with fast payouts and a world-class experience. Get in the game and bet the Bahamian way with Island Luck Sportsbook.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
Information on the Glass Window Bridge is now public. The final price tag for the Glass Window Bridge project in North Eleuthera has been revealed. Minister of Works and Family Island Affairs Clay Sweeting shared the high costs that it says it comes down to difficult terrain and complex logistics at the site. We're going to hear from Laurencia Smith, and then we're going to come back and give our opinions and thoughts.
There has been growing questions about the price tag of the new glass window bridge in Eleuthera, especially from members of the opposition. While the previous administration projected the cost around $30 million, the latest estimated price now puts that price tag even significantly higher. Minister of Works and Family Island Affairs Clay Sweeting says that the new estimated price is $86.3 million, which is inclusive of value-added tax. He wasted no time answering the opposition questions during his budget contribution on Wednesday morning.
And let me say by the onset, Clay Grenford Sweeting, the Member of Parliament for Central and South Eleuthera, doesn't cost any bridge in the Ministry of Works. Again, I reiterate that these costs are estimates by the engineers at the Ministry of Works, The same is being solidified and will be spelled out in the tender document, which is forthcoming.
The bridge spans 2,218 feet and is located just north of Georgetown on the northern end of the island. Sweeting says that while the design is fairly straightforward, the location makes construction logistically complex. The preliminary cost includes a visitor center, which is estimated around $3.5 million.
Staff accommodation and shipping costs, 18.2. Preliminary costs for site compound, equipment, lighting, security, utilities, utility diversions, and traffic management, 6.4. Temporary works, including landing dock, hall road, piling mat, road pad, and jacking barge, 17.4. Road works, 4.4. North Approach Bridge, $2 million. The actual bridge itself, 25.4.
Meanwhile, Sinan's Member of Parliament and the Free National Movement representative for the Ministry of Works stood on a point of order criticizing the government over the ballooning cost of the bridge project.
And we repaired the glass window bridge, and we also completed engineering studies and plans for a new glass window bridge as a modern tourist attraction. I would recommend that the good member stick to what he's actually achieving. Mr. Deputy Speaker, the public will note that this is the first time in 4 years the government hasn't brought one single display board of a completed project. Everything they're talking about is only on writing, nothing to show the people, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
According to the draft estimate of revenues and expenditures of the 2025-2026 fiscal year, the government is guaranteed an $80 million loan that will be secured through the Bridge Authority to fund the project. Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Well, gentlemen, your thoughts. Of course, I had on the show Wednesday evening the Minister of Works, Clay Sweeting, to talk just about that because that's been a major issue. You all heard Adrian White questioning it, questioning the new total, the new price tag. And Sweeting talked about all the work involved. You heard the breakdown of it, the fact that it's going to be a major tourism center and another sort of tourist attraction for Eleuthera and North Eleuthera in particular. Your thoughts, but just with shopping, with all the different stuff, eatery and all that stuff. This is how we break like straw market and all. Anyway, it's just attraction, other things. But gentlemen, your thoughts on this bridge that's become sort of a focal point?
Mr. Miller?
I don't know. $86 million is a hell of a lot of money for a bridge on a family island. I mean, I'm now very, very concerned. Listen, my first priority of any government, of any member of parliament, is the safety and protection of the Bahamian people and their welfare. The F&M is saying that they had a bridge that they were going to build for some $30 million. The new government is saying the bridge is going to cost $86 million. The Ministry of Works people, I can't really have a hell of a lot of faith in them to begin with. Because first of all, they don't like nothing local. If it ain't foreign, they don't like it. Or maybe we should get a foreigner looking at the bridge. Instead of getting their figures, I'll go and get other figures and make it more competitive for someone to give us a better price on our bridge. That's my view. You want to go there. But that's a lot of money for a bridge for one island. Eleuthera, which is very important to us economically, but the tourism. But you're going to spend $100 million on that bridge. There's a hell of a lot of work to be done in New Providence and elsewhere. And I don't know the urgency of it. If it's necessary, it's necessary. But I find that to be a little much. Maybe the bridge shouldn't be a glass bridge. I don't know, Paradise Island Bridge, the Sydney Bridge would have cost that kind of money. I don't know. But, for one project on an island like that, for $86 million to me, that's a rough call. I'm glad it's them and not me making that call. But I think we should go back out and try to get some better prices than that on behalf of the Bahamian people, who is really the owners of the treasury. I think we need to take a second look. That's my opinion on that.
Well, I appreciate your commentary tonight there, Mr. Leslie Miller. Shanique Miller, when he states about the safety of the people in North Eleuthera, I think that has
the entire
much
Eleuthera,
merit.
Not just North Eleuthera, everybody used the bridge.
Well, we have traveled that bridge before, and one side is extremely rough, the other side is very calm, but in times when you have like surges coming from the Atlantic Ocean. Mind you, that is the breaker from the Atlantic Ocean itself. And if you've ever driven over that bridge, the waves itself can actually have the effect of pushing a car over, and that is very treacherous. So the need for it, I stand with Mr. Leslie Miller as to say, if there is an urgent need, I could comprehend. In terms of the cost value, anytime we hear of an enormous amount of money, as the Bahamian people, we have to query that, because there are so many other issues that we are now facing. North Eleuthera has had issues with water, right here on this very same show, Ms. Unique Miller. They've had issues with electricity.
Yes.
And so as in terms of the political value of actually putting this project together, I am not certain that the political value would be worth the investment other than that of safety. If it is just for the safety and the benefit of Bahamian people and tourists, I'm all for it. If it takes $83 million to get it done, I'm all for the 2,218 feet of it.
It's also going to be elevated. So I don't know if that's what we're saying, but it's also like it's a number of improvements because as you described, at its current height, obviously it's not high enough, and because the waves still come over and people have lost their lives, and just as you said, cars have been washed off.
Not make a bridge similar to Paradise Island or some other regular bridge. Does it have to be glass, is my question. Is that what causing all the money? Because the bridge itself, as the minister said, was only costing some 27 million. The bridge itself. Is these other ancillary costs?
Is all those other things.
And bought that price tremendously, outrageous as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I would say then Mr. Miller and Ms. Shanique Miller, go ahead and build the bridge. The access items, even though it's a tourist attraction, I myself would say, hold off on that. There are other things that we must now take care of that are very immediate. There are threats of NIB increases and tax increases in the near future. We just spoke about Chester Cooper making the comment that is anticipated, possibly, that we may have in the United States, we may just go into recession.
But think about this, Garth, and this is I'm not a spokesperson for the Ministry of Works. I'm just saying, though, remember even in the pandemic, where North Eleuthera's economy in particular was just continuing to soar, and that to this day happens. Agreed. So the thing is, if you want to, if the budget is in place to put additional attractions in Eleuthera, for example, one of the hot destinations, and has been holding its own now for years, why not continue to add to that?
I'm all for that, Shanique Miller. But North Eleuthera also had an issue with fires. I do recall the fires in Harbour Island. I do recall serious immigration issues also.
Harbour Island has its immigration issues, yes.
In northern Eleuthera. We've also spoken about a hotel in nearby North Eleuthera that had some very, very damaging employee relations with the employer. There's so many issues that Eleuthera is facing. I'm only saying this, Shanique Miller, politically, because we're going into the electoral season. I am not certain that $83 million invested in this entire project is going to merit a victory for North Eleuthera for you. I would say to you, like Mr. Leslie Miller said, safety first. And if you can make some type of insertion in terms of an investment in a very menial way, I would actually encourage you to do that. But the excess monies, I think we can do better with our treasury money in other places.
My primary concern on behalf of the people of the Bahamas who owns the public treasury is this. Does this bridge have to be a glass bottom bridge?
It isn't. Like that's always been the confusing thing. There's no glass anywhere near the bridge, right?
So why do you call it a glass?
Why you say
bridge?
The glass window bridge is only because of its position.
And why is it going to cost us $83 million?
Because of how? But you see how that's situated. That is the thing, to replicate that and to obviously ensure safety, to take it higher as well, so that all the challenges that now exist and the dangers accompanying that are sort of alleviated.
Again, I say maybe we should go to the States, look at those major companies that build these bridges every other week or every other month in Miami and elsewhere, and get other people to take a look at it and see if they become something different that is more economical and cut the size by 50%.
But the truth be told, though, if we do look at it, though, geologically, there are very few places in the world that you'll actually get to see an ocean. I mean, the Atlantic Ocean itself at its bare.
It's stunning.
It's no feet like it.
It's stunning.
And as you look on the right side, if you're going north, you see this deep ocean. When you look to the left side, you see this tranquil Bahamian turquoise paradise. And so it is an attraction.
Right, that in itself is an attraction.
Yes, but my thing is, the 83 million shouldn't come right away, Mr. Miller. I think
still be an attraction.
You take it in stages as we go through a very delicate and gentle economy. That's all I'm simply saying. Safety for the people of Eleuthera, safety for the tourists, but also safety for the Treasury as we move forward.
That's all I'm saying.
Gentlemen, you make great points, and it's something obviously to take into account as they move forward with that. I think I don't know if it started already, but I think construction is set to start very soon.
And hopefully, got some Bahamian people at work on that construction site.
Don't forget low-cost housing, eh?
Well, that's
New Providence, where it's dire need.
Well, the minister of housing and local government will be making his contribution to the budget, and we will hear number one what his allocations are and what he intends to do. He's expecting an increase because of what you just said. So I am, and I'm saying this because he was on the show recently, some months ago, maybe last month, right? And so this is what he's saying, and so everybody's ears will be trained to what it is that he has to say, because, hey, listen, again, housing is an issue. These apartment rents, and it is. These apartments and whatever,
Mr. Clay Speeding has stepped up his game for South Eleuthera, Shanique Miller.
Well, now he has stepped up his game for South Eleuthera.
Everyone who's running in South Eleuthera, we've had one of our very own Cassius Stewart. We've had Ms. Philippa Kelly, I think she's also running down there. Yeah. They got some big shoes to fill because Clay Speeding is now becoming the Superman of Eleuthera. Got the fire truck right here on your show, Shanique Miller. He is making a statement as to what the Progressive Liberal Party does in North Eleuthera is yet to be seen. And so, hey, great show, Shanique Miller, as usual. I'm proud to be here with Mr. Leslie Miller.
Yeah, I spoke with some of the residents, Garth. I'm happy you brought that up, and they are very happy. They always reach out, them and a few other family islands, and whenever they do, I make an effort to accommodate them so that they can speak. And whether it's most times they're complaining about what's missing. And so they call back and say, listen, guess what? We now have this, we now have that. And I'm happy also to share those stories. So you're right. He has stepped up for Central and South Eleuthera. Even with BTVI, I spoke with family members who say, listen, you should see the people enrolled and studying and becoming and upskilling and all this stuff, and even learning new skills so that they can go and take advantage of some of this money floating around in Eleuthera now, all of Eleuthera nowadays. And so you're right. Yeah, he's really done well, and we'll see exactly again that bridge project and watch that take shape. And so I obviously looking forward to that. I thank you, gentlemen, very much. Of course, at the top of tonight's show, and listen, all the opinions, every last one expressed on this show are those who expressed them. So just keep that in mind right there. But I thank at the top of the night show, Richard Johnson. And then, of course, here in the last segment and this segment, Leslie Miller and Garth Roseborough. I also want to say a big thank you to all of you. It's so awesome having you hang out this week. I look forward to seeing you right back here on Monday for the entire Beyond the Headlines team. I'm Shanique Miller. Everybody have a blessed weekend, a safe weekend, and see you on Monday.